It was supposed to be about unity, security, African nations protecting one another. But now, Ecowas has become one of the most distrusted organizations on the continent. How did something built for Africa start working against Africa? This is a story of geopolitical maneuvering, external influence, and the awakening of a continent determined to reclaim its destiny. When the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, was founded in 1975, it embodied a powerful vision. It was conceived as a beacon of Pan-African cooperation, aiming for economic integration and regional self-reliance. The dream was to create a robust bloc of 15 West African nations fostering free movement of people, goods, and capital. This ambitious project sought to build a common market, promote peace, and ensure stability across the region. It was envisioned as Africa's answer to the European Union, a testament to the continent's capacity for self-governance and collective progress. For decades, ECOWAS played a crucial role in peacekeeping missions and mediating regional disputes, earning a reputation as a vital force for stability. Over time, however, a subtle yet profound shift began to occur within ECOWAS. The initial mission, rooted in genuine Pan-African ideals, started to blur. Priorities seemed to shift, and a creeping external influence became increasingly apparent. This raises a critical question. Is ECOWAS truly independent, or has it become an instrument for foreign agendas? The evidence suggests a troubling pattern. When major decisions by ECOWAS are consistently praised by former colonial powers like France, and its programs are heavily funded by nations like the United States, a deeper analysis is warranted. Furthermore, when the organization threatens military action against its own member states, often echoing the sentiments of Western capitals, it signals a potential loss of sovereignty. This is not genuine African leadership. It is, arguably, proxy control. Consider the financial lifelines. Significant portions of ECOWAS's budget, particularly for its security forces, often come from international donors, including the IMF, World Bank, and specific Western governments. This financial dependency can subtly or overtly shape policy decisions. Military training and intelligence sharing programs, often led by French and U.S. forces, further entrench these external ties. Such arrangements can create a framework where African security priorities are subtly aligned with those of external partners, rather than solely reflecting the needs and aspirations of the African people. Let's pause for a sec. I want to say thank you for joining us in understanding the truth behind the headlines and the powerful voices shaping Africa's future. Consider subscribing to our channel for in-depth geopolitical analysis of the world and a Pan-African perspective that challenges the mainstream narrative. Now let's get back to the video. Diplomatic pressure also plays a significant role. Behind-the-scenes lobbying, conditional aid packages, and the promotion of specific governance models can steer ECOWAS towards decisions that serve external interests. This dynamic often leads to a situation where Western media outlets report on ECOWAS troop deployments and strategic discussions even before African media, highlighting where the true influence might lie. This intricate web of financial, military, and diplomatic ties raises serious questions about the organization's autonomy and its commitment to truly independent African solutions. The true turning point, the moment Africa began to collectively awaken to this reality, came with the series of coups in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. These were not isolated incidents, but symptoms of deeper systemic issues: widespread insecurity, governance failures, and profound popular discontent, with leaders perceived as disconnected from their people's struggles. When these changes of leadership occurred, ECOWAS's response was stark and immediate. Instead of offering negotiation, mediation, or understanding the root causes of popular unrest, it threatened war. This was a threat of war against three of its own member states, nations whose new leadership had emerged from popular frustration with the status quo. These new leaders, often military figures, were not embraced out of a love for coups, but because they promised a break from what many citizens saw as puppet presidents beholden to foreign interests. The people of the Sahel were tired of leaders who seemed to prioritize external validation over the pressing needs of their own populations, particularly in the face of escalating insecurity and economic hardship. For many Africans, this aggressive stance by ECOWAS was a profound betrayal. It became clear that the organization, rather than protecting the sovereignty and democratic aspirations of its members, appeared to be protecting Western interests and the established order that served them. The sight of ECOWAS military buildups, coupled with the fervent protests across the Sahel chanting, "Down with ECOWAS," and even burning its flags, underscored the deep chasm that had opened between the organization and the very people it claimed to represent. This moment crystallized the perception that ECOWAS had become an enforcer of a neo-colonial agenda rather than a champion of genuine African self-determination. In Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, the popular sentiment was unequivocally clear. The people did not ask for ECOWAS intervention. They demanded sovereignty, self-determination, and a leadership truly accountable to them. They rallied behind their new military leaders not out of an inherent preference for military rule, but because these leaders promised a decisive break from the past. They offered a vision of genuine independence, free from the perceived shackles of external influence and the perceived failures of previous administrations. When ECOWAS threatened to invade Niger in 2023, the response was not just from Nigerians, it was a resounding no from the entire Sahel region, and indeed from many Pan-Africanists across the continent. This collective defiance was a powerful statement. Africa would protect itself on its own terms and would no longer tolerate external dictates. This pivotal moment led to the birth of the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a direct and potent challenge to ECOWAS's authority and its perceived alignment with Western agendas. The AES represents a new paradigm for regional cooperation, one built on mutual respect, shared security interests, and a commitment to genuine sovereignty. Its formation is a clear message that the nations of the Sahel are determined to forge their own path, free from the influence of former colonial powers and their regional proxies. This alliance is not merely a security pact, it is a symbol of a broader Pan-African awakening, a movement towards self-reliance and a rejection of the neo-colonial structures that have long hindered the continent's progress. It signifies a profound shift in the geopolitical landscape of West Africa, where the people are reclaiming their agency and charting a new course for their collective future. Today, the very fabric of ECOWAS appears to be unraveling. The withdrawals of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have dealt a severe blow to its credibility and operational capacity. Guinea, another key member, has openly expressed support for the Sahel Alliance, further isolating the organization. Even within its remaining member states, countries like Senegal and Gambia are increasingly questioning ECOWAS's purpose and its perceived subservience to external interests. The image of an ECOWAS summit with empty chairs is a stark visual metaphor for its diminishing influence and internal divisions. The West, particularly former colonial powers, often frames these developments as dangerous instability, a threat to regional security and democratic norms. However, for many Africans, this is not instability. It is the painful but necessary process of liberation. It is the assertion of true freedom, a long overdue decolonization of minds and institutions. The current state of ECOWAS highlights a fundamental truth. An organization built to serve African nations cannot effectively do so if it answers to foreign powers. This is not unity, it is for many a betrayal of the Pan-African dream. The rise of the Sahel Alliance, often seen alongside symbols of multipolarity like BRICS and Russian flags, signifies Africa's growing desire to diversify its partnerships and assert its place in a changing global order. This shift is about seeking genuine, mutually beneficial relationships rather than remaining tethered to historical dependencies. The current crisis within ECOWAS is a testament to the continent's evolving geopolitical consciousness, where the pursuit of authentic sovereignty and self-determination takes precedence over maintaining a facade of unity that serves external agendas. True African unity is not about adhering to Western scripts or seeking external validation. It is about writing your own narrative, one rooted in a shared history and collective aspirations, and the unwavering commitment to self-determination. The perceived fall of ECOWAS in its current form is not the end of the Pan-African dream. On the contrary, it marks the beginning of a new kind of unity, a unity that is authentic, organic, and truly puts the interests of the African people first. This emerging unity is not dictated by Paris, Washington, or Brussels. It is forged in the crucible of shared struggles and a common vision for a prosperous, sovereign, and self-reliant continent. Africa is rising, and it is doing so on its own terms, without seeking permission from any external power. This is the dawn of a new era where African voices lead, African solutions prevail, and African destiny is firmly in African hands. Join us in understanding the truth behind the headlines and the powerful voices shaping Africa's future. Subscribe to our channel for in-depth geopolitical analysis and a Pan-African perspective that challenges the mainstream narrative. Subscribe to Politics, Power, and Policy. Hit the bell icon to stay knowledgeable and empowered. And until next time, my friends, stay safe and informed.